All right, welcome back everybody. Real quick, we're doing a bit of a shift in the style of content. So I'm going to commit to doing this for about 3 months. One thing that makes this channel unique is we're not really making videos, particularly for YouTube. We're just kind of catching what's going on in this shop. This is a business. We build furniture for clients. Every piece that you see on our channel is generally built for someone who paid for it. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit harder to make content around that. But what I'm going to commit to is trying to catch more of the in and outs day to day of this, what goes on in this shop. So we're starting right in the middle of 2 builds right now. We're working on a lectern for a client in San Antonio. It's a commercial building. And then we're also building a new shop veneer table. The lectern is a really cool piece. It's going to have a steel base. It's got a steel front. And then we've got these really awesome veneered, kind of a veneered box panels that go around out of Texas pecan. That actually came from the client's property in San Antonio. That's what you saw in the beginning of this video, was Robert busting out the veneer. We make all our veneer in-house in the shop off the old Oliver bandsaw and lay it up on our own. So that piggybacks into the other project, which is a brand new giant veneer table for the shop that we're gonna use. We got a big build coming up that's gonna require, it's a conference table that we're gonna do a cool veneer sunburst pattern on, and that is gonna require a much better veneer setup than what we've been currently using, which is just a bag on the floor. For the lectern, we're gonna be focusing mostly today on the dados. We're gonna be cutting those out, and we're gonna run into some issues and some problems, but we're gonna get through it. 90% of the work we do in here is just problem solving. I really feel like you get things wrong and you fix it, and in the end it all comes out looking pretty dang good. So I hope you guys enjoy this new style. Like I said, I'm going to commit to it. Basically, you guys are a fly on the wall just watching what goes on in here between me and Robert. Let's just jump right in and get started. All right, so we're back on the lectern this morning. I've got all the sides, well, basically every panel for it veneered up, edge banded. This guy right here did it all. Did a great job. So what we're gonna do now is do dados on the CNC. So I've been working on the program over in Fusion to set that up. So let me show you what we got right here. So basically this is gonna cut, this is our side. It's gonna cut these 3. This is the bottom shelf. You got mid shelf and the top shelf where you'll put your papers and all that stuff. This will make quick and easy work of it. I'm super nervous because obviously those sides are expensive pieces. We've spent a lot of hours veneering them, getting them looking really nice. So I don't want to mess this up. That's why we put a practice piece up here. The biggest reason for doing this is, for one, we want to make sure everything's in the right spot. 2, dialing in the size of the dado to the thickness of the material. So we're at 0.840. So I'm going to cut my dados a little bit bigger than that and test the fit on this piece, make sure we're good, and from there we can dial it in, put the actual pieces on, and feel comfortable to cut those and not destroy parts and have to redo stuff, because that costs a lot of money. So let's run this test cut and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so this is why I like to do these test cuts. So this is measuring at 0.840, like we said. The program written in CAD, in Fusion, is 0.840. So I'm kind of exactly the same, and it's actually cutting this at 0.810, so it's cutting it smaller so it doesn't fit. Couldn't really give you an answer for that. Maybe it's something to do with the post-processor, but what we're gonna do is go make a few tweaks. We'll just kind of add a little cleanup pass on both sides that will make up that difference. Okay.
Fits pretty good?
Yeah, it fits great.
Great. That's awesome.
And if we pre-finish,
Yeah.
that'll probably fit really well.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. I think we're on the right track. Okay, so even with a test piece, we've run into some issues, and I'm gonna throw the CNC machine under the bus on this one because it doesn't cut very square, which is kind of sad when it's that expensive of a piece of equipment. But we've got our dado, and I meant to check this, totally forgot, but you can see we're hitting there with our square, and then we get this gap here. Now part of the problem might be that it was a little off on the Y, but we lined it up off the locator pins, so it shouldn't be, but it obviously is. So what we had to do, what we're gonna have to do is, this is our mirroring side, so we laid it on top of this one, marked the dados on the back edge and on the front edge, transferred that across, and so when I put this on the machine, I'm gonna make sure that my X is gonna line up with this path here. So I'm gonna make sure it hits here. Here it should cut a perfectly mirrored out of square part to this one, which is a little ridiculous, but that's what we got to do. And then probably what we'll do from there is correct the squareness issue on this front edge, because it's not a lot, so we could take a little bit of material off this front, and then from there rip our miters, and everything should be trued up pretty good. So that's where we're at.
At least those line up, that's the start.
This should perfect.
That's good to me.
I think that's close enough. So we could fold it over and just see if that front edge lines up there and there, and if that does, then we've got it perfectly boxed at that square.
Okay.
Pretty close, man. I think that worked. So, next step, square.
Yeah, I was thinking
Square these, and then
if we have to, we'll have to do these edges,
we should.
because if we don't do it and we miter it how it is, and if we have to fix it later, we can't recut the miter. We would just cut here, and then you would create like
Yeah.
a trapezoid.
Yeah, because you can't fix the back,
Yeah.
but you can fix the front.
So we have to do this.
Wonder if you could do that one and then flush trim
And just flush trim it.
this one to that one.
So will this be the same, or will
It should be. It looks like it's more. No, it looks close to the same.
Okay.
Nothing like cutting things out of square on purpose. What are we doing right now?
Nice to know you can
My,
do it.
knowing what time it is, it's like 10:30. My brain already is just fried for the day.
Done for the day. So how do we determine?
I think we use a hand plane.
Okay.
Sneak up on it.
Cool. So we know the top is 0, and then whatever we're taking off is down here.
Yeah, you could take nothing here and start working it down, and then just check it whenever you. But what you probably want to do is make like a couple passes from the middle there, a couple passes from here there, and then make a full length pass. It may take a couple passes to get it full cut from end to end, and then check it, and you should be pretty close to that, but you might have to take a little bit more. But when well, I guess what I'm getting at is you can take off more here, but when you finish, you got to take a full length.
You got to take a full.
So it's
yeah.
straight, yeah. So you might take a little bit here, but
We're already.
and hopefully the grain cooperates.
Well, when I flushed up this edge, everything worked really well in all the pieces.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Cool. Oh, it's
that looks
tapering
good.
off a little bit on that end, right?
Do what?
It's tapering off a little bit here.
Yeah, I think one of my first kind of shattered.
So one thing that would help you on this is
Getting it lower.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
We're
that.
gonna chatter a lot, but the challenge with this vise.
Might be a little easier. Sweet.
Yeah, you can't tell. I mean, it's you can catch it if you're really looking, but it's no one's
Pretty minimal.
No one's gonna see it.
Now,
Alright.
just take the flush trim.
Line up your dados, and then
Just
flush
walk
trim.
through like a hair. It's cobweb or something.
It's probably not one of your hairs.
Probably not.
Okay, after all that, we've got everything squared up. Robert took the hand plane and basically took this edge and squared it to the dado, which was out of square on the CNC, which is kind of ironic that we took an expensive CNC and then had to use a hand plane to dial it in. But, you know, I don't really know how we got to this point, but we're fixing it. So he'll continue squaring these up, and then I'm going to cut the back out now on the CNC, so we'll match up a dado, not the back, we should call it the front, so it'll line a dado up to this one and this one, and then we can kind of test fit everything. We've got to cut miters here, and then miters on the piece that's about to go on the CNC, and from there we should be close to dry fitting a box. Okay, that's going to shut it down for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Real quick, I know I promised you that we would see some of the giant veneer table we're building, so I want to share real quick a little bit of that with you. It's well, we actually broke it in last night at a Bible study out here, but it's pretty much ready for the veneer setup. This is a really awesome table that's taken a lot of work, and I'm going to share a full build video with you. But it's got 8 legs, all on their independent levelers. It's got a 3-inch thick torsion box on there that has probably almost 10 sheets of plywood in it, 1/2-inch plywood. It's pretty wild. It took a lot of work, but that torsion box is what keeps this thing very flat. I mean, it is flat. We glued on ABS plastic that has to do with the veneer system, so you'll see more about that soon. But this thing is, I'm actually quite surprised at how flat it came out and the adjustability of it. So when you have that torsion box, when you adjust those legs, everything kind of moves together, if that makes sense. You're not just kind of pushing up one little corner. The torsion box kind of moves it all, so you can really dial it in. We used a laser, and it sucker's flat. It's pretty awesome. We did get the Lectern in the clamps yesterday, and man, I'm pumped about how well this looks. So we selected some really grayed out pecan, some really unique just color in this wood. We had a group of boards that kind of fit that. You can see some of that gray right in here, and it's going to go really well with the steel that goes around the front. So there's a steel plate that goes up here and kind of wraps around, and then there's a logo. The company's logo is right on the front. So it's going to be killer. Well, Robert will be in soon. It's early this morning. We'll pop these clamps off, and this box today we'll be putting finish on, I would imagine. We've already got finish on the inside. You can kind of see now a little bit more of an idea of what we did in this video with the dados, how it all captures those shelves. It's really important that we have dados in here or something. You know, you could use dominoes, but the dados give it some strength for these shelves to kind of hold in their place, especially the bottom one, because it's going to be carrying the weight of the entire cabinet as the steel box kind of slips inside of that and that bottom shelf sits on it. So Dados are important, and they came out great. And the inside's already got 1 coat of oil, so we're 1 step ahead there. Next week, we'll have another video out for you guys, kind of showing this thing pretty much done, and we'll have a build video on it as well. So, as well, next week we'll be starting a new piece, a big round table for a client here in Bernie. So we'll be sharing that with you as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to say I really appreciate you guys tuning into these. It's a lot of work to make these videos, and I really love sharing what we do in here. It's challenging logistically to keep on top of everything and make the videos. I've struggled with it a little bit, but I'm gonna commit to doing this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm gonna try to make it simple so it's not overly complicated. I want to leave you guys real quick with a really cool side project, time-lapse of a side project that I did for one of my good buddies who flies the F-16 Fighting Falcon. Just a great guy. He has an awesome job, and I just want to show some appreciation to him. So knocked out this sign. One of my buddies helped me make the Falcon that flies in the middle of it out of steel. So I think it's pretty cool. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and we'll see you next week.